Okay, hello again. So today we are going to talk about SQL Server development, and we're going to build an AI-aided inventory through SQL Server. And we gonna go first with this slide. So we're going to build SQL Server 2025, and yep, we're going to build a beginning inventory and then supply. We're not going to do the purchase for now. We're just do inventory. Okay, so basically if you're designing an application, you need to get the requirements from your stakeholder, and then you need to do the conceptual design. That's include the entity relationship diagram, and you need to go to logical design, which is basically normalizing your data and then defining your primary keys, choosing your data type and things like that. And then physical design is you actually code into the database. So that's the stages of your design, and that has been accelerated with the aid of AI, because you can actually just create a prototype application and then just tweak it as the requirement comes in. But yeah, it's still advisable that you go to the requirements gathering. Then yeah, you need to test your solution. So basically, this is the component of inventory system. So you have the supplies, and then as you can see, you have supplies here, you have supplies there. So basically, the suppliers, supply or the inventory itself is being used when you purchase, right? And then you also use the same supplies table when you do the sales, and then if you have inventory process like beginning transaction, conversion, like you pack and unpack the inventory, and it's being used in these three modules. So supplies and suppliers, and then you do the purchase and purchase return, then sales, and then sales return, and then transfer, conversion, and yeah, inventory processes like it probably goes stale and you have to dispose it. So that's an inventory process that you have to go through. So for now, we're going to do the suppliers and the supply, which is the inventory or the products. The supplies is actually the product entity, and we'll be doing that in a short while on a demo. And then you need to define the entities. So what are the entities that we need? We need the products, we need the suppliers, we need the transaction type. We're not doing the purchases. We have suppliers, we have client, or what's the other name for the client? Customers. And then yeah, that's the basic entity that you need to know. Basically, the entity is, it's a subject, it's a noun, and it has properties which becomes your attribute or the columns, and then every record is an instance of an entity. And then there are relationship with the entity, which is many to many, one to one, or one is to many. Okay. So it helps you to normalize your data so you don't do the repetition. We'll not be talking normalization right now. We'll just go ahead and jump into the design, and let's see how good the technology is. Again, if this tutorial is going to help you, please donate. I already received some donation by GCash, so just um, please donate. We're trying to launch a bigger event, so it could generate a lot of tutorials, not only to our people, but well, the rest of the people in the world who will benefit from this. So we're trying to, let them have a job, don't be afraid of AI, and instead we'll make use of AI to make jobs. So, and that's basically the bottom line why we create AI. So basically, I think in Microsoft we're not afraid of that, because we have actually codeless development. We don't write code, we just drag and drop, and then everything's finished. So I'm gonna show that also in the demo. We'll be going to do a codeless UI development. Um, yep. So we're don't be afraid of AI. Be afraid of Microsoft. Don't write code. Okay, thank you, and it's me, it's Joey. So you can reach me out on this contacts, or you can reach me out with WhatsApp, and then we go ahead and jump to the demo. I hope this works, okay? And I already have my cooking show. So we have here the Copilot. We're gonna create, let me see first. We have the test one. Okay. I think I already have this one, right? What tables are in there? Uh, that's the system I designed a long time ago. It's Envision, but we'll be doing the 2025 version of that using AI. So I'm gonna create a database, and I'm gonna call this inventory out. I'm going to connect to the default instance, and I'm gonna create, yep, no, let's just create a new database and call it inventory 101. So basically, yep, and it's going to create that. And there you go, we have inventory 101, and make new query use, or you can just, well, use in inventory 101. That's because we're directing AI to make use of this, uh, database. So basically, the very first entity that we're going to need is the suppliers. Create suppliers entity with all the attributes, and then create products entity with all the attributes, and create transaction with all the attributes. It will contain what? Sales, beginning inventory, and disposal, and purchases. Then create transaction type. So basically, we have suppliers. We have suppliers owns the product. That's the relationship, and then we have transaction, which will use the products in the suppliers if it's purchases, and then other entity if it's not. So it's optional to have um, the suppliers into the transaction, but will create transaction with details, and then it should be transaction details and then transaction. and then create transaction type table. So that it's a lot for the start. Okay, let's just so we're going to create a suppliers with all the attributes. Attributes is the property of your entity, which is basically size, color, shape, and things like that. And then we create the product, which is yeah. So that's a product, and then this is the suppliers, and then the supplier own the product, and then we'll have products in the transaction details. We'll have the transaction table, and then we have the transaction type table. Include okay. Let's just see what's going to happen. So where's the prompt? Ask Copilot to do that for us. And yeah, it might do a little different from the first one that I created, but I already created a cooking show then. And it's creating the entire table for us, right? So create table products and suggested retail price on products. Okay, it's doing it again. I think my internet has slowed down, so yeah, that's why it's not reaching. But it's thinking, okay, there. Okay, we're gonna do this. So it's just modify, just add the SRP. Okay, we're gonna run the entire thing that he um let's just create this first, insert, and it's going to create all the tables that we want. So we have the suppliers, and then we have the product, and the product has supplier ID. Then we have the transaction details, and then we have the transaction and transaction time, and then we create that, execute. Hmm. We'll just execute this one by one. It's already there. I think it's already created a create table. We stop here, right? It's not all correct. So basically, already created here. So that's the hassle of doing AI development. It's it just do things, but it's not all correct right now. So we have products and suppliers, and we have products, we have suppliers, we have transaction details. Um, yeah, let's just go ahead and create that. Foreign key reference table transaction. Okay, because we have to create the transaction first before we create the transaction details. No, we have to create the transaction type first. Because you need the transaction type to create a transaction, right? And then we are going to create the transaction details. And then gonna add the this one. We're gonna add the SRP to the insert. We're gonna add the SRP to the products table. And I want to change the default. Okay. And yeah, why don't we just insert that and run it? Okay. Gonna default that to a get date instead of the hard coded date. Hmm. You still need to know how to, drop use SQL. So basically, anyway, we'll just deal with that later as we go. Let's just go ahead and go to the database design diagram and we'll see what happened here. What the AI has created for us. So we're going to go to the new database diagram and we're gonna add product, suppliers, transaction details, and transaction types, right? And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You don't tell your boss that I can do that I can do inventory in 2 minutes. Okay, and then close. So let's see. Range. Okay. So basically created we have a transaction type. Transaction type. Okay. So we have transaction type in the transaction and then transaction have transaction details which contains our products and then our product has product our product here and then we have the product is owned by our supplier, so that's the entity relationship. That's suppliers own a lot of products and then um, transaction details has many products, so basically that's the item you buy and then you have one is to many. Okay, one transaction is a sales transaction which has the invoice number or the transaction number, and then we have transaction type, and then that's pretty much it. To it, we have the database design here. Um, let's just go ahead and create 30 sample data. No, create sample data for transaction types, which are beginning inventory, transfer, disposal, purchases, sales, sales return. Uh-oh. Well, let's insert this for now, and these are going to be the transaction types. Okay, insert. Insert to DBL transaction. What's wrong? The column names in each table must be unique. Okay, I'm gonna have the sample data. Let me just create new query and then gonna refresh this and see the field if the fields is matching. Refresh. So yep, we are in the transaction type, so that is the one. And those are our column created, the transaction description, transaction type name, transaction type ID. Um, okay, transaction type ID, which is, he said, column name in each table must be unique. Column name created date in table DBO products is specified more than one. But we're not doing um, did we insert already? Let me select. Okay. Um, we need to truncate that. Okay, we'll just need to insert this. That's weird, right? Do we have that here? No, we'll talk about that later. Which, why don't we just delete from that? Because that's Postgres. Uh-oh. Now, still need a lot of skills, SQL skills. Right, we're able to delete that, right? So we don't have anything from here. And then, I'm gonna insert. Okay, now we have entries for that. We have beginning inventory, we have disposal, purchases, and sales. Now we are able to create transaction type, right? We're gonna create sample data. I think this is very big. I think this is a very big first training. So yeah, okay. So it's improving its code. Insert. Insert into supplier, concatenate the supplier plus the counter, which is your ID. Oh, so it's doing a while and when close, so it iterates or it will while it's less than 30, it starts from 1. It's going to name it as supplier 1 and then supplier name. That will be the supplier plus 1. That will be the supplier name. Contact number is 123 and this is counter 00, so it's gonna format 00 into something and then it's gonna give us address plus the counter and let's see what it does. Execute. Okay. Completion. I think it's with an S. Right. Valid column name, contact number. In the suppliers, we don't have contact number. We have hold on a second. Let me just, it looks like he doesn't have. We're going to, you still need a lot of SQL skills, even if you have AI with you. So it's not that easy. It's just, well, I don't know, we can just generate code before without, that's weird. I didn't click anything yet. Cancel. So let me just click this. I'm gonna give a hint to the AI so it can do work better. Come on. Oh, wait. Because we give him the wrong table that doesn't exist. That's why he give us the wrong attributes, right? Create sample data for table suppliers. Maybe that was I need 30 sample data, right? For table suppliers. suppliers. And then we can just go ahead and populate all of this and execute. Yep, right. Hmm. That's weird. The AI doesn't. That's DBO supplier, supplier ID, supplier name, contact email, and then contact phone. And then address, city, county, city. Okay, that's just fine for now. Just go ahead and generate that. Just to, yeah, you can just fine tune this. Cannot insert explicit value for identity. Okay. But can we, oh no, remove the identity column and supply data for the rest of the fields. We don't have any just yet. And then we're gonna insert this. So now we have suppliers, right? Because that's looks like special command. I don't know why still messing up with that. It's probably because I created a lot of them already. Now we have the sample data generated. We don't have state. Generate state. Date state column in suppliers, right? With values. Reference city. Okay, let's see. Insert. Amazing, right? We don't even need to know. Select asterisk from supplier. Of course, you still need to know SQL by heart, even if you're using AI. So, yep, we almost, yeah, well, we can do ahead with the rest of the stuff there. And then, but we're going to create sample data for table products. This is I didn't know it's going to be very big. I just intended to do a 10-minute demo. For now, how long had we been? So, yep, just insert this guy here. And I think that's not what we need. We created their own table. Is that the definition we have? Table DBO products. Is it the same? I think now we have SRP. No. So AI needs a lot of details for it to function correctly. Script. Yeah, it's I don't know why it's a bit slow. It's just I'm asking him to generate the script for the create table. There. Create 30 sample data for this table. Go. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it short because I want to go and do a codeless UI for this demo. Yep, with insert and execute. Okay, there you go. Okay, we have now SRP is 10. We buy it at 875, so we'll make uh 125 profit from that, right? It's 12, that's 14. That's the unit in stock. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and um, create a UI for this so we can see how this is going to look like in our front-end application. And I'm gonna do as promise to a UI for codeless UI for this. I'm gonna use access. I'm gonna use MS Access for the UI. Um, Okay, blank database. Then create. And what you're gonna do is to connect to external database from access and connect access. Oh, sorry. Connect to SQL Server from here. And link the data source by creating a link table. Uh, no, we're going to create a new that's a spine system. Use data source. That's okay. And we're gonna create SQL Server and back. Next. Okay, inventory 101. Description server is localhost. I'm gonna click next. Windows NT authentication, that's okay. And I'm gonna connect to inventory 101. Right, there you go. Next. And finish. Test data source, and then okay, and then okay. And then we're gonna import that product, supplier, what else, transaction details, transaction types. And then click OK. Right. Now we are going to go to the forms. I'm gonna go to, oh no, not yet. I'm gonna go to the forms. Go to the forms. How do you do that in Access? Go to the forms there. And we're gonna create a new form. Form wizard. And we're gonna create the suppliers. Gonna click next. Select everything, right? So we're gonna click this. We want it tabular. We want it data sheet. We want it justified. Columnar. Let's try that. Open from the view information. That's okay. Finish. And it generates the UI for us, and then we can just go ahead, and we did not write anything, right? So it can navigate from there. And then we didn't write any code, and it can search. So these are the suppliers that was generated by the AI. But we can customize that more. And we're gonna insert what? Come on, Joey. Uh, cancel. Okay. I'm gonna insert this here. Find a record on my form based on the value. I will type the value I want. I want the list box to get the values from. No, we're not going to do that. We're just going to navigate. I'm gonna click next, and I'm gonna add the supplier ID and the supplier name. Right, and then click next. Click next. Ah, wait. No, we don't want that to hide that. And then finished. So it's here. And then we can expand this. Right? Well, I can switch the location. Okay, so let's go ahead and we haven't run the code yet, right? So, hang on, edit. So here you can switch the GUI with however you want or whatever you want, or you can arrange it, yeah, the way you want it, right? No. Okay, let's go ahead and see that. So you can, if you, so as you can see, it's navigating, right? And then, do you want a search? It's already created here, so I can art supplies. And then you can also do the search like that, or you can click here and find the products. Now, how about for the for the this is the supplier, right? And then we're gonna create a form for the create form. One more. No, that's not what we're gonna do. Create. We're gonna create using the form wizard, and we're gonna use the product table because we have suppliers, right? And all of this, and the next, and then that's okay. And you know, click finish. Okay. Okay, there you go. So the products and suppliers supposed to be. These are the products. And we have supplier ID here, but we don't understand what that one is, right? So we're gonna just modify that design. Click here. And I'm gonna remove this. We're gonna add this drop down combo box. I will you want the combo box to get the value. Okay, we're good. And we get the value from the suppliers, right? Oh no, not all of them. That's the supplier name and supplier ID. And now we don't want to sort it. Yep, supplier ID. Hide the key column. No, we don't want to do that. Let's click next. And yep. I'm gonna store it on the supplier ID. Okay, finished. And I'm gonna put it in here. Why? Okay, now at least, nah, because let's do that again. Okay, okay, I'm gonna drop this here. Okay, I want the box to get the value from another table, which is okay. I'm good. I'm gonna get from the suppliers. And we're gonna get the supplier name and supplier ID. I'm gonna click next, sort it on supplier ID, and I'll, why don't we try to hide that first? It's okay because we don't want to see the number actually. I'm gonna store that into the supplier ID. Right, and suppliers, and click finished. Now there you go. I want to display the uh, the control source is supplier ID. If we move to the next products, right? It, but we want to see the, okay. Go ahead and do this. Control source label name. Uh, OI format. What is, why don't we use the, okay, that's I'm good with that control source. But I want to show the name. Row source type table query bound column 1 limit to list. There should be a display something. It's been 2000 years since I used this technology, but you can actually, play with this and build what design codeless. Yeah, let's just, and then yeah, because that's not what I want to do. So I just, I want to show the real value for this. There should be a display field. Because it's name, label, control, latest caption, column count to column mid, column E. Yup, just experiment with this. And then you can have the, yeah, we'll probably talk about that on the next session. But we have a UI that, doesn't need coding, and then we can add here the navigation. No, just whatever she has done. Anyway, we'll just do the thing that we did. Um, demo fails, Joey. Okay. Why don't we come up with the cooking show? let's 5 save this so that we have a cooking show already done here, right? Save, yes. So this is the cooking show. If I want to edit the in datasheet view, I can edit here, right? Products B1, then save. That automatically gets saved, or I can use this and then what's wrong? We have DBO products. Oh, that's the product. Okay, so it's actually this is the cut the oh it's yeah. At least if you want to know what the supplier ID is, it's gonna show there. But we can customize that to show the actual supplier name rather than displaying too. So that's all for now. This has been a very lengthy presentation. So basically, we were building database inventory, and here's the database diagram. And we're using SQL Server and Access to build the system, but I didn't know I was building a rather very big demo. And in the part 2 of this session, yeah, we'll continue building this. I already created several 5 tables at least, and we're gonna populate this and make it work in the next session. So I don't know why. Yeah, even my cooking demo fails. Okay. New database diagram. And we're gonna add all these things. So we created this entity, and then it has those relationship. Uh, right there, we created this, and we supply. So these are populated. By default, we have populated suppliers and products, and we'll do the transaction details in the transaction later on. We're gonna add the beginning inventory, and we're gonna update the the correct value of inventory in the units, or the unit in stock, which is this is the inventory based on whatever is in the transaction detail. So that's all for now, and again, if this help you, don't please feel free to. I already received some donations. I'm very thankful. They don't want to get their name mentioned. They just donate. You can donate through PayPal, my PayPal, or Gcash, and subscribe to Aware IT. Um, I mean, this is anything goes database. Aware IT used to have its own YouTube, but when I went to work, it was, and I get busy, I wasn't able to maintain it. So since it's anything goes, we can actually put technical content on this. And yeah, like, subscribe, and follow. And yeah, if you have a lot of money, please feel free to donate. We're aiming to launch big events for 2025 for tech events for SQL Server and Azure and the rest of the cloud like AWS and GCP, or the Google Cloud Platform. So thank you again for watching, and I didn't know it's going to run very long for now. So I hope you understand something. So just a recap, we talk about the entity. It's the table that we create. We use an AI development with SQL Server. We use the GUI, Codeless GUI from from Access, which is a common tool on every computer now, and we have that Codeless system, and we'll do a little more of refinement as we go for this tutorial. So yeah, this is database development with SQL Server 2005 and 2025, and we're using AI for the development. Thank you again for watching, and don't be afraid of the AI. You know, you still need a lot of skills to make use of AI. It's not do this blah 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 and it will make everything perfect. No, it's just make our work easier. So, and our codeless programming with Microsoft technology is far more deadlier than the AI because we don't even need to write code to build a system. And that's true with the Visual Studio development for ASP.NET. So I can, if you need my help building system, you can just reach out to me. Yeah, this you can contact me through this email or WhatsApp me on this number. And then that's all for now, and then thank you for watching.